Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Primetime. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?
Good morning and welcome to another insightful edition of Ways Breakfast. Hashtag what are you saying? It's a great one to have you with us here today. And as always, we're here to explore the issues that matter, shedding light on the topics that affect us all, especially in these trying times. As always, we bring expert guests to help contribute their expert views to the conversation. So join us today, as always, when we dive into the topic for today. My name is Oluchi Omenka, and it's with great pleasure I welcome you to the show as well as my ladies. Hi.
Good morning.
I'm feeling super
Hello,
fly.
Adolisa.
I'm actually feeling super fly today because it's Friday and I'm like, oh, the week has been a lot roller coaster. Today I have to be happy. I have to be full of joy. I have to just be expectant. And I hope the weekend comes with a lot of goodies for me. You know.
I think for me, I just need more like a mopping stick means of transportation or like a flying means or maybe like teleporting.
I told you that I have one. You did not come for tutorials.
I don't think
Yes,
I
I
can
know how
trust
to
yours.
teleport now. You don't need to enter bus or
The
Uber anymore.
cost of food right now, the cost of Uber, boats, even public transport is like on, I don't know. I just need to teleport. Like,
God's beauty, how are you feeling today? I mean, from your look, you're so,
Beautiful.
it's ravishing, electrifying, gorgeous, adorable. In fact, the adjectives are. So how do you feel today?
I'm
What's your plan for
beautiful.
the weekend?
I think probably just self-care, rest.
You're not from this world, though, because in
no,
this
yeah.
economy, you're saying self-care?
Yeah, so self-care doesn't have to mean that you have to like spend a lot. I mean, resting is part of self-care.
Okay.
Meditating is part of self-care. And not after all the things I've been through this week. I feel like there are a lot of things I need to relearn, so that I can adjust and probably be able to breathe when I have certain people that don't want me to breathe. You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's the truth.
That was like subtle
I intend,
shades.
yeah.
Like-
I was getting
I intend I intend doing a lot of meditating, a lot of relearning so that I can adjust.
And then just right.
Just to add the little comments of that, we can't all be the same person.
Yeah.
And
True.
the fact that we are out of our house means we're going to meet 1,001 people.
Yeah.
So it's best for us to work on ourselves because we all have character flaws,
Yeah,
right?
very true.
You're triggering yes, can I use that word triggering?
Yeah,
So you trigger someone for someone to react to you. So you as a person, like you said, relearn, and then the other people that you feel like they trigger you a lot. So you don't find coping mechanism to be at peace with everyone.
You know, I remember something we discussed earlier this week, and we mentioned the fact that we should give grace to people, we should connect more with our loved ones, and I think that's something to put in place this weekend. Go to your family members, your loved one, people that give you joy.
many
Ensure
hours
that
a
with the negativity that is flying up and down, find a way to make yourself happy. Self-care is good to meditate and pray and sleep, rest without worries. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please go to our YouTube page at Official Upgrade TV. Click the subscribe button, like, share the link, and be part of our conversation. Today, we'll be discussing why is strong branding important for businesses. So this is something that you do not want to miss. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break. glad to have you back from the break. If you're just joining us, this is Ways Breakfast, hashtag what are you saying? And right now, we'll look through the pages of today's newspaper. Today we have The Punch, The Guardian, and The New York Times. I'll start with The Punch newspaper. The major headline reads, NNPC ties Dangote petrol price to forex rates. NNPC begins lifting Dangote refinery petrol September 15. Vessels begin offloading and queues worsen. Above that, we see 63 TCN tires destroyed in 8 months, says federal government. Massive flooding to hit 7 states soon, says government. And ICPC grills Ngige over NSITF contracts. Below the major headline, we see terrorism financing, police to quiz Ajero, September 25, and PSP officials condemn members' arrest over land dispute, reps back ban on under-18 SSC UTME candidates. Of course, what major story would I want to take apart from the field story? So we said that NNPC, the Punch lets us see that NNPC ties Dangote petrol price to forex rates. And I'm wondering, what kind of story is that? I looked through the full details on the website. It says, as Nigerians eagerly await the release of premium motor spirits, popularly known as petrol, from the $20 billion Dangote Petroleum Refinery, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited says it will lift the products from the plant on September 15, but outlined factors that will determine its price. It said foreign exchange rates and market forces would influence the cost of petrol, stressing that the market had been deregulated. And this came as oil marketers declared on Thursday that about 2,000 tankers were still awaiting to load the product at various depots of the National Oil Company in Lagos, Warri, Port Harcourt, and the rest of them.
So basically, there will still be long queues at the filling station.
Yes, and
there will still be 50% increase on transportation system.
You know, we mentioned that we shouldn't have our hopes so high because of, but I feel like even though our hope is not going to be so high, it should still be reasonably. Yes, it can't still be 1,000 or 800. I feel like it should still reduce. It might not be so drastic as what we used to have, 8-7 years ago, but at least considering all these other things, we're hoping to really see and hear of a reasonable price so that things can be better for us. Let's see what we have for the Guardian newspaper.
All right, jumping straight to the Guardian newspaper, the major headline reads, construction site follows as reverse migration. Devaluation hits real estate. Beside it, my patience running out. Apga chair wants to Ludo. Right under it, days after Mafa massacre, Boko Haram hit Yobe State again. Federal government backtracks may lift age restriction for WAEC SSC exam, says Mohammed Tahir. Nigerians bleeding from economic policy, says YCE, NBA and doctors tells Tinubu. Another story from the page of the Guardian newspaper reads, petrol, federal government claims prices not been set. Anticipate availability by weekend. Under it, concerns as Nigerian weakens to 1,669, Concerns as Naira weakens to 1,639 Naira per dollar amid full price hike. Article 4, Tinubu's focus on protesters above security reforms. The last but one headline reads, Bond raises 1.43 billion euro via syndicated global loan. And the final one reads, threats to PDP governors, NYIF clerk calls for Wike's sack, arrest, and prosecution. And the major headline I would like to talk about is on the petrol as well. Federal government claim prices are not being set. Anticipate availability by weekend. It means, as against what the NNPCL said, that September 15, which is about 10 days from now, 10 to 9 days from now, let's hope that this weekend there might be a little change. Like I said, like you said, we should not raise our expectations too high. So let's believe that by weekend, things might get a little bit better. And if it doesn't get better, by September 15, we have a new Nigeria. Yeah, something like that.
I look forward to getting positive news from the Nigerian newspaper. But even the New York Times is not looking funny, so let's just go into it. All right, by the right side of the newspaper, we have United States response to interference by the Caroline. Sanctions target efforts to sway for election. Next to that, Biden to oppose United States still sail to Japanese fame. By the left side of that, we have at least 4 killed in school attack shooting suspect. 14 is in custody in Georgia. Next to that, unspeakable news suffering from Afang women. Beneath that, row at the United States Open, what not to love. Next to that, partisan races can often lack opponent, usually a Democrat. So the headline I want to quickly talk about, because I mean, of recent, if you've been on the on social media now, you get to see that there's a lot of killings. Yes. That boyfriend is killing girlfriend. One ritual or the other.
Sad.
Most annoying is the fact that these people are not even grown up. These people are quite young, below 18. You know. So this particular story is actually a 14-year-old student. His name is Gray. Carried out a violent attack at Appalachia High School in Winder, that's Georgia. On Wednesday, he shot and killed 2 students and 2 teachers before handing over his gun and surrendering to authorities. This strategic event is the deadliest school shooting of 2024 and underscores the growing problem of school violence in the United States. Despite the school having procedures and drills in place to handle such emergencies, the attack still happened. The violence led to at least 9 injuries, with some victims being taken to major hospitals. The shooting caused panic among parents and led to other local schools going into lockdown. Gray will face murder charges as an adult. So this is quite intriguing because, I mean, we are yet to know, like, what reason, you know, he had for him to start shooting people. So 2 teachers are dead, 2 students are dead. Wow. He shot about 9 persons, and thank God they are taken to the major hospitals. And you see why U.S. is quite different from Nigeria. If it happens here in Nigeria, the rest of, I mean, we will always still go on. But right now, there's a lockdown of all the local schools in the U.S. Do you get what I'm saying? Georgia, to be precise. So yes. We are yet to know, like I said, we are yet to know what exactly, you know, prompted him to start doing, to, you know, cause this whole violence and attack. I just hope that the rest of the, you know, victims are properly taken care of. Then, you know, as the news unfolds, I'll definitely will give you updates on probably the reason why, you know, he decided to carry gun and start shooting people. Yeah, that's all I have for you on the New York Times. There can never
be a reason for that. That's just...
No, there should be. Nobody does something without a reason. There's always a reason for something.
What reason is that?
Yeah, there's a reason for an action.
A 14-year-old. 14.
I'm actually dumbfounded right now.
Very, very.
Me too.
I saw the news on X where a 14-year-old raped a 15-year-old girl to death or something.
I think I saw that too. I really don't know what's going on.
I think it's right time we reduce our legal age to like 12.
Should we?
To be honest.
Should this say probably is a spiritual thing? This is not me trying to, but it is.
These are things that don't rule out that option.
These are things that you don't get to see like very often. But right now, I mean, the story that you're talking about on prime time, that's a lot.
Yeah, 17-year-old killed madam because of 150K.
That's a lot.
In this era. And they ended up seeing 60K.
It's how they even take care of the bodies for me. Like, it's one thing to kill, it's another thing to behave like nothing happened. Come on now.
Even Roger Walker's, like, in a movie.
And I'm wondering how these movies that we watch that we think is just fiction, it's coming to life. Please stay safe.
But we all watched Money Heist. Why didn't we face one of these commercial banks? Why didn't we plan
God bless you.
We'll go and break vault and we'll put Count Road, and then from there we'll jump down to God Melon Bridge and we'll cut away the money.
Somehow, in as much as I want to blame, I feel like the movies, when it comes to the movies now, it has a 50-50, it's a 50-50 thing, right? The reason why we have movies in the first place is to tell us what's going on and how to, you know, change and all of these things. Do you get? It is not to come and teach us how to behave like them or, you know, emulate whatever character that we are watching. So I really don't know what is wrong with this recent generation. But that is when they watch a movie, they just go and learn. Instead of them to understand that this is what's going on and, you know, try to look for security ways to prevent such things from happening. Would be better.
Sadly, that's all we can take for the headline stories across the Nigerian newspaper and the New York Times. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll go straight into the hot topic for today. So stay with us. We'll be right back shortly. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. So, as mentioned earlier, we'll be discussing why is strong branding important for businesses. So, whether you're a startup trying to stand out or an established company looking to maintain your edge, branding is at the heart of your business identity. And to help us understand this better, I'm thrilled to welcome an incredible talented, multifaceted guest with over half a decade of experience in brand identity, marketing, and motion design across various industries. Our guest is known for creating compelling visual narratives that elevate brands to new heights. And what's even more fascinating is the unique journey from a degree in petroleum engineering to becoming a leading creative force in the design world. So today we'll explore how strong branding not only differentiates businesses, but also builds trust and connection with customers. So join us as we uncover the art and science behind powerful branding. Good morning, Mr. Chidera.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's our pleasure as well, and it's very beautiful to hear and read your bio that says you were in petroleum engineering and then the transitioning happened. That's quite impressive, and to see the much progress that you've done is quite impressive. So, I want to discuss about branding today, and we know that branding now is often seen as more than just a logo. So, I'd like you to help us define what strong branding is, and why do you think it's crucial for businesses today, to consider this. And this is how we start the conversation.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. So branding, just as you pointed out, it's beyond a logo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would define branding to be a perception that your clientele, your target audience, and rest of that have about you, about your business. When I say perception, branding is specifically not what you say you are, it is what they say you are. And I will explain. What branding in itself entails with that statement, not what you say you are, but what they say you are. Over time, we've seen brands successfully build loyal customer base, credibility, and the rest of that. And all these have been built on the foundation of the stories that they are able to tell us their customer experience, how we have been able to experience these brands when we come in touch with them and their various touch points. So once we experience these brands, we build a perception of what this brand is. And that is why we see various target audience, various customers of a certain brand very much loyal to a brand itself. And that is why, that is what branding in its simple term is. It's a perception that your customers have about you. It can be positive perception, it can be negative perception. That's why there are two ways that you are able to build a strong brand. It could be by intention and it could be by neglect. In this sense, what both means is that when you neglect to actually build a positive brand, people in itself build a brand for you. They build a brand for you. Then if you are intentional about it, you are intentional about your promises, you are intentional about the stories you tell, you are intentional about how you connect with us emotionally, you are intentional about your various touch points, you are consistent in your values, your mission, and the rest of that, and your customer experience. Then your target audience begin to build a positive perception about you. And one of the deliverables for branding is attention. Once you are very much intentional about your branding, you are able to command attention, and it's left to you with your various other soft skills, marketing and sales, to convert that attention to money, to convert that attention to revenue. So that's basically it about branding.
All right, thank you very much for explaining to us what branding means. But our discourse this morning is on strong branding. Everybody now understands the concept and idea of branding. a small business owner, a perfume plug owner, we understand, okay, as I need to brand my business. And you mentioned that branding is way more than just logo. So now I need you, with the use of maybe a brand, not to sell out a brand or do advert to a company unconsciously or unintentionally. I need you to help explain the concept of strong branding. I mean, inclusive of the word strong branding. Making use of a brand you've worked with, or maybe any common brand that we all know of.
All right. I would use two brands, and one is no longer effective per se, and I'll relate it back to our childhood and where we've come from, and that is Mr. Biggs. Almost anyone in Nigeria would know of the brand Mr. Biggs. During our childhood, Mr. Biggs is our go-to restaurant, or let's say eatery, as kids. And over time, because of their track record, their promises that they are able to fulfill, and how they are able to relate with us then as kids, whenever our parents then mention that we are going out, we are going somewhere, there's a quick flash that this is where we are going to, Mr. Beast. We are going to explore their different range of services, foods, ice cream, sweet, and the rest of that. And that is what a good branding can do. And if we come down to our age now, I would use the telecommunication, the telecommunication sector, MTN and Glo, and I would differentiate why and what we know them for. There's a slogan that MTN goes by, and that is everywhere you go. Despite the fact that in recent times there has been there has been quite a little glitch with their various services and rest of that. But MTN has shown a track record of good service, and that is why they live by that tagline everywhere you go. Almost everywhere in the country, almost anywhere in the country, we experience good service with the MTN brand. And if you relate it with the Glo service, their counterparts, you will discover that what the narrative that Glo in itself pushed to us is that they are the masters of data, and you would oftentimes see good data offers, and this in itself, they have not just put this to us, they have proven it over and over again. That is what strong branding with these brands is.
All right, so let's I want us to be a bit practical now, right? Talking about the strong branding, I want to understand what it entails. The reason is this. Now, the market is highly competitive. Regardless of what brand whatever you want to market, or whatever idea you have. Let's just, for example, I want to, start constructing ACs, because I believe that I'm very good and all of that, and probably because I'm a Nigerian, so every other Nigerian would want to, buy from me and all of these things. But we have LG, we have the likes of Panasonic, we have all of these brands that have stood out over time, over the years, right? If I'm coming over to probably drinks and all of these things, we have Coke that's already been there for the longest, we have Fanta that have been there from the 90s. Do you get what I'm saying? So what will I do to stand out? What kind of brand, or what are the strategies that would, hold on to, that would make my brand stand out? Because like I said, the market is highly competitive. So I want us to be practical here, because there's a lot of SMEs that are actually listening to this. So what do I do to stand out from the crowd?
All right, so practically, there are several ways which you can stand out from the crowd, and that is where you will have to get back to the drawing board before you bring out yourself. Just like you mentioned, the market is very much competitive. It's very much hard, very much tough to see a very less competitive market in our today's age, in our today's world. And so you would first have to define who you are. You would have to define who you are. Look at your counterparts, your competitors. Get to know who they are, their target audience, and then you come back to define yourself. You you build a personality of who and what your brand is. So you are not trying to be what your competitors are. You are being unique to yourself. You are able to define your unique selling points. You are able to bring up something that differentiates you from what your brand is, differentiates you from what your brand offers, define your target audience. In today's world, you cannot target everybody at the same time. It is not possible. You cannot do that. You cannot target everybody at the same time. That is why you have to define who your target audience are, define your value system, define your personality, and then you find ways at which you can connect yourself and your brand. That is what brand strategy is. I see brand strategy as matchmaking. It's you getting to understand yourself, your brand, and then you understand your target audience, and then in between you find ways to bring them together. So how you can stand out is first understanding yourself, your unique selling points, your value system, your personality, define the service that you want to offer, and define who you want to offer these services to. You would not and something that would also help you define who you want to offer your service to is defining your environment, your reach. Because if, let's say, just as you mentioned, I am coming into a market just as Coca-Cola, and things, we are certain that Coca-Cola is global and just like that. So I would have to start from my environment, little by little, build track records, credible social proofs. This is what I say I am, this is what I want to do, and I show it to my target audience that this is it. This is how I am different from them. This is how Coca-Cola tastes. This is what I am bringing to the table. I am adding this flavor. I am doing this, and probably our product lasts longer than this. You can keep it and it stays to this extent. You do not have to probably add adjective and the rest of that. These are practical steps at which you can definitely stand out in a very much competitive audience. And all this, you are able to differentiate yourself, build a loyal audience. You are able to drive customer loyalty. You are able to facilitate marketing. Yes, and that is one of the reasons why branding is important. Just to make your marketing efforts very much effective. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Chidera. I feel like we're still going to drive home the point that you're saying before we take a short break. I know businesses before now has just been, have money, get a shop or container, as we call it then, and then have, people that are just there to work with you and you make your money. But then as it started to evolve and the use of social media, the internet, the use of different things, technology, it has changed how businesses are growing, how businesses are positioning themselves. And sometimes I wonder how small scale businesses really handle all of this, especially with the competition that is out there. And Goswit already mentioned something about competition. So you also mentioned something about target audience. I want us to really look at this. What does it really take for for us to build a brand identity that doesn't only look great, but also resonates with the target audience? For example, let me give this. How do you even determine who your target audiences are? I could just decide to create a brand that resonates with my personality. But what if that personality does not tally with the target audience I want to reach out to? Or would I just create a brand and then look for a target audience that can fit into that? A lot of this conflict just comes into mind, especially for people that want to start into business and want to position themselves well. So I'll take my question again. So how can we position ourselves, position our brand to not only look great and meet all the checks, but also resonate with the target audience?
All right. So how to position yourself to resonate well with your target audience? This is it. There are, before you put yourself out there, you have defined your business as a personality. Is it a luxury brand? Is it an affordable brand. Is it? Let's take for instance, I decide to start selling wares, children wares, and rest of that. How you can resonate well with your target audience. Firstly, you are setting the business you want to do. You are setting this is the direction that you want to go, and then you come back to then say, okay, this is who I want to target. This is the product I have. Who would this product be good for? Who would this product work well for? Because the essence of building a brand is not just to start something, is to essentially solve a problem, filling a gap to a problem that has been existing. And so you are not building a product, you are not building a service, you are not starting a business for yourself. You are starting a business for people, user-centered products, user-centered businesses. Because in itself, if you start up something for yourself because you like it, because it's good, and then you put it out there and your customers do not resonate with it, there will be no revenue, there will be no income, you would there will be no connection between your brand and your target audience. So you have to define these things specifically. So back to my example, a business that wants to start creating wares for children. So you would have to define that, okay, this is the age range that these wares would fit in, age 0, age 1 to 5, 12 to 18, and the rest of that. And okay, they are kids. So who do I need to target? Because certain times for these age ranges, they are likely not to get this way themselves. No. So you're likely to target their parents, their uncles, their aunties, and then once you're able to define this and how you are able to reach them, you begin to tell stories that resonate with them. You are able to show a very much proven track record. You are able to have them experience your brand properly, that they are able to resonate with you as a person. Take for instance, Apple per se. There is a reason why their their audience are very much loyal to them. Samsung too, they have built a very much credible track record, and they are able to resonate with us on the aspect of quality, luxury. There's a certain class that when you see someone using those gadgets without looking at who they are, you feel that okay, because this person is using this particular product, not just this particular product, this particular model, they are well to do and rest of that. So Apple and Samsung, they have associated themselves to a certain class of audience. So that's it basically.
All right, thank you very much. We have to go on a short break now and we'll continue the conversation when we return. So please stay with us. We'll be right back shortly. All right, welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. This is still Ways Breakfast, and we are discussing the importance of branding for businesses. We've been joined by a guest who has been giving us insight into this conversation, and we'll take it on from here.
All right, Chidera, thank you very much for staying with us so quickly. When she was reading your bio, you said you transitioned from petrochemical engineering to brand design. And I think I'm curious to know the story. What happened? What changed the professional landscape? And then there's not how we are going to talk about strong branding without mentioning creativity. And creativity isn't just from you alone, it's also from the end of the brand owner, right? So considering your years of experience, how have you been able to persuade your clients to see from the level of your own creative mind?
Okay, so my my transitioning from petroleum engineering to brand design actually started as as a kid. Earlier on in a primary school, it's been all about arts. It's always it's been all about sketching, drawing cartoons, drawing different characters, and just like that. From there, went to secondary school, engineering, drawing, technical drawing, 2D, isometric views, and the rest of that. And then petroleum engineering, there is really no correlation to, but in the middle of, in my course of study, I had to fall back to what I have first loved, design, art, and the rest of that. And then I exploring the creative space and the rest of that, I found love for brand design. And then to your question, as regards how I convince my clients to probably see from my direction as a creative in to actually push their branding. That's your question, right? So it's a more it's more of a collaboration. Yeah, it's not something that I will have to come and then push a certain narrative to them and say, okay, this is it. This is why we must go this direction. This is why we have to go this direction. No, it's their brand. It's their brand, and they have a market that they want to serve. They have a market that they want to serve. I am coming in as an expert to help them to shorten the process, probably the timeline, to help them target who they want to target. And that is where I bring in my experience as a brand designer for over the years, more like over the years. And so just like I mentioned, it's a collaborative effort. We then sit down to define certain parameters. What metrics do we want to achieve? And with those metrics in place, we then began to put in place strategies and rest of that. And then we, from the strategies, defining their their three P's, personality and rest of that. And then from there, we then begin to talk about putting what we've defined into visuals. That is where visual identity design comes in. The visual identity design comes in, and then we relate what we talked about into visuals. That is where the logo comes in. The logo is just a subset of visual identity design. And just like we mentioned earlier, certain persons have this misconception that branding is just the logo, which is not. It's a combination of different parts, different points, visual design, logo design, marketing and advertising design, just to make sure that there is a consistent look across all the brand's touch points. And when I say touch point, what I mean is this: how the various mediums you get to interact with the brand. Those mediums are called touch point. It could be their banners you see, it could be their social media handles, these are their touch points. And so when we've done that, we make sure that across these touch points, the brands are able to stay consistent so that they're able to resonate with their target audience. In the end, it's that they're able to resonate with their target audience. It's that their target audience see them as the brand for them.
Okay, so thank you so much, Chidera. It has been an insightful conversation, starting from what strong branding is to where we are right now. So let's talk a bit about advertising and marketing. Because the truth is, when it comes to strong branding, you can't take advertising out. I mean, how do you get your brands to your target audience if you are not advertising, if you are not marketing, right? Now, in the early 2000s, right, down to probably 2010 and all of that, we had, TV stations where if you have a brand now, you just take your or radio stations, you take your brand to the TV station or to the radio station, and they will help you, publicize it or, and all of that. I mean, advertise it for you. I remember then when we had Golden Penny, Indomie, Mama Too Good, and all of those things. Do you get what I'm saying? But time has really evolved, and now we have social media. You have to, I mean, for your brand to stand out, you have to get someone's face, like an influencer. You have to get someone to be an ambassador for your brand, so that your brand can, continue being in the face of people. Just like where we have the likes of Pepsi. I think Wizkid, Tiwa, and all of these, important people that are known all over the world, to be the face of this brand. But like I said, the world has evolved. What happens to these SMEs that cannot get these influencers, right? What happens to these SMEs that cannot pay? It's a lot of money to get a whiskey to be the face of your brand. It's a lot of money. So what strategy should we be looking at? Or what style of advertising should these SMEs emulate or take in? Now, if you also look at the bank, right, they have marketers that go from one person to the other. And I remember telling somebody that's quite stressful. That cannot be me, honestly speaking. Because you have to go from one person, explain to the person why UBA Bank is very important and why you should be our customer. So I'm just curious to know what style of marketing should these SMEs that cannot get, that cannot use me, for example. I'm not sure I have the money to pay a Funke Akindele or even a Wizkid or a Davido to be the face of my brand. So what do I do to stand out?
All right, so times have evolved. Technology coming here and there. We've, just like you mentioned, we've moved from the traditional style of marketing and advertising, doing the TV stations, the radios, and the rest of that, to where we are now. And as a small business enterprise, you necessarily do not have to get a big influencer, probably the likes of Sydney, Benjota, Wizkid, and just as you mentioned, you do not have to do that. Technology has made this easy for you. Social media is there for you. What you just have to do is come online, create a profile, tell us who you are, share your story, be consistent in telling us about your product, sell to us. Social media has made this very easy for even the smallest brands to actually compete on a global stage. So social media has made that very easy for you. All you have to do is, let's take, for instance, Facebook. We've over time seen small businesses move from 0 to 10, 0 to 100, just by connecting with us on social media, just by sharing their stories on social media, just by running social media ads, Facebook, Meta, Instagram, and rest of that. You can reach a very much vast audience, a very much broad audience in Nigeria, different continents, Africa, the UK, America, and rest of that, just by showing up on social media. Social media can help you reach a very much large audience that are not in your ecosystem, that are not in your environment. You just have to come online, define who you are to us. Tell us, okay, this is the product you have. This is the service that you are offering to us. This is how you are different from this person. And you are not just saying it, you are living it. You are bringing to us social proof, credible proof that you are able to serve us right. So social media has made this very much easy for everybody. Despite the fact that there is the tradition, there's also the aspect of word of mouth, and that comes in when you have moved from you have gotten to the third A's of brand growth. And what are the three A's? It's awareness, adoption, and advocacy. Awareness, where you have to show up, tell us about your brand, create awareness about your services, tell us this is the product you have, this is who you want to serve, and rest of that. Then you get to adoption, where you have us patronize you have us buy your product, you have us choose your service, and then there's a part of advocacy. Advocacy from the first A to the second A adoption. And after we have experienced your brand, there's a good customer experience and the rest of that. You are able to build a loyal customer base that they refer you to their connections. They refer you to their families, they refer you to their friends. So you have to be intentional about these three A's. Just as you show up on social media, you necessarily do not have to uh, spend millions of liras to hire an influencer to push your brand. You are your influencer. You are the face of your brand, and you have to put yourself out there and talk about it before any other person can talk about it. And when you have built a sustainable revenue that you're able to hire any influencer, then you can also consider this those other aspects of marketing and advertising. But first, use what you have to get to where you want, to be what you want. And yeah.
I hear you, right? I'm not disputing that social media has a very good impact in strong branding, advertising, and marketing. But the truth is, have you heard what I order versus what I got? So a lot of people are still very skeptical about, having to buy things online. I am not part of those people that will tell you, go and get things online. I'm being very honest. So I don't know how we are now able to navigate, in as much as we don't have the money to bring a whiskey, right? Even though it is very, very important, because imagine a whiskey is the face of my brand. I would actually say, oh, quick, like fast. Do you understand what I'm saying? But at the same time, since we don't have that money, we now have to look for betterment, and that's why you brought about social media. But at the same time, the transparency in social media is it's a very, very tiny line, because not everybody will still want to buy things from you because they'll believe that, you are like the rest. Do you understand what I'm saying? This way, I remember having a conversation with someone. This person said it very, very plain that if it is not a referral, I know they buy on social media. No vex. So how do we now navigate it?
So it is certain that over time we've gotten to see situations, occurrences of people patronizing certain brands, and then we get to see in both the what I ordered versus what I got. Yeah. That is why you as a business will have to find ways to start. It's a very much competitive market,
It
and
is
so
actually.
you will have to find a way to stand out from your competitors. Your competitors would likely involve people that deliver on their promises and those that do not. And so sometimes it's those that do not deliver on their promises that that are almost everywhere. And so you would have to define yourself, define your brand, make sure that there's a track record. So if if you are just starting out, you are bringing to us uh, what you've done offline. You are bringing it to your online base. You are telling us that, okay, see, I have served this person. You are bringing evidence to us. One of the ways to actually get people to patronize you
Patronize.
is social proof. Social proof. you should be able to prove to us that, see, I have been in this, I have served this audience, and yes, I have delivered. And you would have to make us move from just hearing about you to personalizing you, and then from personalizing you, having to stay loyal to you. What you have to do is make sure that your customer experience is clear, your customer experience is good, your process from onboarding a client to actually serving that client and still offboarding, they should be able to, after they have patronized you, they should be able to say, yes, this brand, I have patronized this brand, and then I am willing to patronize again, or I am able to refer this brand to someone else.
Or
You certainly cannot remove the aspect of of having other brands portray probably your markets. Let's say the thriftwear markets. There are certainly other brands that could portray themselves in the bad light. So you have to come up and then prove to your audience that you are not what this person is. You are yourself. Your brand is your brand, and uh, there is a good customer experience. Yeah.
all right, thank you very much. I'd like to just read a few comments from people who are, gaining a lot of insight from this conversation. We have Oluwatobi Bayo David, Gabriel Oyerinde, Biz Only, John Broder, and Ezekiel giving great comments about what they're hearing. So we're talking about branding, positioning yourself. I really like this angle that God's beauty, took us to, because there is competition. I'm a small scale business person. I'm trying to put myself in the market and I cannot afford influencers. But we're not discussing something that is really trending, which is storytelling. We know that, of course, we cannot afford to get these influencers, but there's another sort of hack that branding has brought to us these days, and that is the use of storytelling. So whether it's a service-based brand or a product-based brand, the use of storytelling to create compelling stories and appeal to people's emotion is what has driven sales over time. Because there are sometimes that we purchase things, not really because we really want to use them, just the story behind it and, how they've really leveraged on storytelling. So as we're going to wrap up the show and, come to a conclusion, I really want us to buttress a bit on how we can hack that tip, that storytelling, advantage that we have for small businesses to ensure that even if it's a service-based brand or a product-based brand, they can still position themselves well in the market and build credibility from it as well.
All right. So storytelling is a very much effective part of branding. And with storytelling, you can resonate with your target audience well. You can relate with them. You can find ways to relate with them. You can have them stay loyal to you. And what storytelling is not just talking about your product often and on. It's finding ways, getting to understand your audience, things that resonate with them, and then connecting those things that resonate with them to your business. I'll use someone that has proven that has a proven track record in storytelling, and that is Chema Ifeanyi, that runs the Data Entry Academy. If you follow her social media, Facebook specifically, you will see that often and on, she gets to talk to us not just about her business. She talks to us about persons that have enrolled with her academy. She gets to tell us about their story. She gets to tell us about how they were, things they do before they joined and after they joined. She gets to share the narrative of her family. She gets to not just relate to us business-wise, but also family-wise. So when you show up on our timeline, if you are her customer base, her target audience, you are able to resonate with her. You are able to, okay, this person is speaking my language. That is what storytelling is. It is not just you putting your product, putting it on our faces. It's you speaking the language of the audience. You are telling them, okay, so person, this is how we were able to go about this. This is that, and then you are relating it to your product. You are not just talking about your product, you are building an emotional side of your product and an emotional side of your service. You are specifically relating with your audience. That is what storytelling is, and it's very much effective. That's one of the ways you can actually captivate your audience on social media. Yeah, without the whole other means of advertising, marketing, and the rest of that. It's just by you telling your story.
All right. Thank you very much for this insightful conversation. Thank you for letting us know what branding is and the importance it plays in building our businesses and competing on a global scale. It has been a very insightful one. Thank you very much, Mr. Chidera.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
All
Yeah.
right, that's all we can take for today. Till next week, again, Mondays to Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. This is Two Ways Breakfast. Stay sharp and have a great weekend.
Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Prime Time. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?